Great Bay Temple fucking sucks. Now I know that's a bit abrasive right out the gate, something can't be 100% bad, but Great Bay comes damn close. It isn't a matter of opinion, it is objectively flawed. The closest thing you can relate it to is its predecessor, the Water Temple. The Water Temple from Ocarina of Time is notorious for its water level manipulation and the need to frequently access the menu to equip the Iron Boots, which stops you dead in your tracks multiple times a minute. Getting rid of the menuing, however, makes the temple 10 times better and actually makes it fun, as seen in re-releases and the 3DS remake. It makes the dungeon a smoother and more streamlined experience, which leaves you with a good taste in your mouth. Seafood, everyone loves it. If you don't, shut the fuck up, you do not exist in my eyes. In spite of this, Great Bay is inherently flawed, and unlike OOT, the re-releases and 3DS remake are the exact same, if not worse. But what makes it awful? Well, first you have to look at where the dungeon is in relation to the world of Termina. Woodfall Temple has poisoned the land of the Dekus, and the princess of the Deku people has been captured, with a lone monkey being blamed. You have to infiltrate the Deku Palace in order to learn a song for the monkey that then raises Woodfall Temple from the depths. Why this monkey knows how to raise an entire building from the aether, I'm not too sure. Woodfall also serves as an introduction to the game's mechanics. Deku water travel, interacting with other residents, and using your big noggin to solve puzzles. It's also a genuinely beautiful location that fills me with childish giddy every time I enter Woodfall. The temple itself is a basic dungeon that you can complete in no time flat. You also get the bow here. The boss Odalwa is very interesting, as the game basically lets you fight him in whatever way you want. It gives you the tools you need to fight him, but it lets you figure out what to do. All in all, Woodfall Temple is a great dungeon. It's one of the only dungeons that doesn't have you racing against the clock. I mean, you still are, but the chances of you spending so much time in Woodfall you die by moon is so small you don't have to worry about it unless you are an 85-year-old creature with Parkinson's, so you know. Snowhead is perpetually stuck in winter with the Goron suffering from it. You must get the Lens of Truth in order to see spirits, which you use to heal the everlasting spirit of the Goron hero Darmani. The King of England and a small child teach you the Goron Lullaby, which you must use to put to sleep the large Goron blocking the entrance to the next dungeon. You then get to go on a fast-paced roll up a daunting pathway before eventually reaching the entrance of Snowhead Temple. Snowhead Temple marks the beginning of how MM's dungeons will play out from here on out. They focus on using one specific item to traverse the dungeon before giving you a new elemental arrow type, which you use to progress further in the dungeon and in the game itself. They also feature one defining gimmick, Snowhead Temples being its sheer verticality. Snowhead Temple's second purpose is to teach you how to use the Goron Mask. At multiple points you need to use Goron Link's sheer power and speed to progress. I'm not really sure why they did this, as you need to know how to roll as Goron Link in order to get to Snowhead Temple in the first place, but I digress. The boss Galt is very fun, as the main way to kill him is just go fast and run into him. Now, you're probably wondering what I'm gonna need all this speed for. After all, I do build up speed for 12 hours. But to answer that, we need to talk about parallel universes. And if you thought my other tangents were complicated... There you go, I just need to do that. Snowhead Temple is very fun, and it's rewarding to see everything around you turn to spring, only for it to be for naught after you reset the cycle. Ikana Canyon is the most depressing location in the entire game. A barren wasteland with the recently deceased Gibdos, roaming aimlessly begging to be put to rest. After saving a girl's dad from the same fate as those around him, you must fetch items from multiple Gibdos before earning the Mirror Shield. By using the Mirror Shield, you are able to infiltrate Ikana Canyon and face off against the king, Igos du Ikana. Once he is dead for the second time, Igos du Ikana teaches you the Elegy of Emptiness. Ben is also there. Whoa, hey, cut it! The dungeon of the area is Stone Tower, which is split into 3 distinct parts. There's the Stone Tower Climb, which you use the Elegy of Emptiness to create 4 statues of your 4 states to press switches, eventually leading to the entrance of the temple. Then you have Stone Tower Temple itself, where you use the Mirror Shield and light arrows to do light puzzles. And then lastly, you flip Stone Tower Temple on its head and redo the dungeon upside down. And the whole time, you have good-ass music that goes like... It's a wonderful time. Stone Tower Temple is, in my opinion, the only dungeon that really utilizes the 3-day cycle of Majora's Mask. Because the dungeon is split up into 3 pieces, you can do one piece and then come back to it later. The boss, Twin Mold, is more of a power trip than anything, utilizing the Giant's Mask to slap around some giant worms. It got butchered in the 3DS remake, but you know, don't think about that too hard. Stone Tower is a great way to end the main game before you save Termina from the Skull Kid Spirit Bomb, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So what the fuck is the deal with Great Bay? Great Bay region comprises the west region of Termina and is home to the Zora people. It also introduces the Zora mask and the best swimming mechanics in a Zelda game to date. Well, at least on the N64. The Zora you heal to get the Zora mask Mikau is the lead guitarist in the band the Indie-Go-Go's. The Great Bay Temple has been cursed, leaving the water murky. That doesn't stop you from swimming, it just acts as a barrier so you don't swim into the abyss, which even after fixing the Great Bay Temple doesn't really do anything. In order to get to the Great Bay Temple, you have to rescue the Zora eggs from the Gerudo pirates so they can form a song which you play to Lulu, which summons a turtle that you hop on to go to the temple. Do you understand how every other dungeon has an understandable reason for it not being accessible and an understandable way of getting to it? Woodfall Temple is under the swamp, and the swamp is covered in poison. Snowhead is covered in snow and is blocked by a giant Goron that you need to put to sleep. Ikana Canyon is a wasteland covered in reanimated corpses, and in order to scale the stone tower, you need to have a way to press pressure plates. Great Bay is murky and the temple has harsh water around it, so you ride a giant turtle by singing a song to a Zora lady that you get after saving her eggs from a troop of pirates. I know it's a fantasy game, but if everything else is grounded in some sense of reality, why is Great Bay different? And the dungeon itself, holy shit. So you know how the water temple in Ocarina of Time was about changing water levels, right? Great Bay is like that, but way worse. The whole dungeon is about opening water valves, to open more water valves, to open more water valves, to open more water valves, to make water elevators, to make more water elevators, to invert water flow to go to new parts of the dungeon. Valve is a video game company and creator of Steam, a digital marketplace released in 2003. I know Great Bay has ice arrows, but it's more water. The boss Georg is a giant fish. I don't have anything else to say about it. It is a fish. I love Majora's Mask, but I can't call it one of the greats. The Great Bay Temple is horrible to such a degree, I cannot enjoy myself before, during, or after the dungeon. I need to detox before I even think about going back to play the game. Skull Kid may have been corrupted by Majora's Mask, but when I find that fucker, I'm nailing him to a cross.